Alright, I'm gonna see if I can record another video here. It's kind of a embarrassing subject for me to talk about. But you know what, I think it's, I don't know, it's been on my mind. So I want to at least try recording this video. Don't know if I'm going to put it out on the internet. But anyway, so I'll just get to what I'm talking about. So I want to talk about the importance of Anima integration for men, and how that it reveals things about ourselves and our relationships to women and our relationship with ourself, and how we navigate through the world of relationships in general, because essentially the anima is, for those of you who aren't familiar with this concept, it's the feminine principle within the within the male psychology, essentially. And if you don't have it well integrated, then you're going to be projecting a lot more onto women, and without really realizing what you're doing. And you'll probably imagine traits that they have that aren't actually there. And so basically you'll be having a relationship. If you have a relationship with a woman, then you're basically not really having a relationship. You're having a projection onto a person, and then conflicts will arise because the image won't match the reality of the person. And then there's like this weird pressure I think men will put onto women to live up to like the image that they sort of unconsciously try to project out into the world. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to go through some of my discoveries that I've made about the anima as I've uncovered I've gotten more and more insights into the female the female aspect that is alive inside of me. One of my primary modes of doing that has been essentially going writing stories with the intent of accessing my unconscious, and allowing that to reveal things to me as in sort of a non-contrived way. It's more of like I'm waiting for the unconscious to show me what it wants me to see, rather than me trying to say, oh, I want to write a story about this and this and this. It's more of a it's a lighter touch than I think other writing processes might involve. And for me, like, it's kind of perfect. Like this whole idea of active imagination technique by Carl Jung. It's it's all of a sudden I'm like prolific in my writing, because it's just it's perfect sort of abstract area of how I like to communicate. So back to the anima. So I've had a few one night stands with women back when I was like in my 20s, and I had like one relationship that lasted about 6 months. And like the one night stands were one night stands because like once the the thingy happened, it was like, oh, okay, this isn't gonna work for me. Like, I can't do this. There's nothing here. then the other one, that's more of a bigger story. I might go into that. The one that lasted 6 months. That's a whole nother story. Anyhow, and then there were like when I was like out working in the service industry, and sort of more available to other people. There were definitely like women that would show interest in me, and back in high school as well, and like sometimes like a friend of hers would like come, oh, so and so likes you, you should go talk to her, and like part of me was really longing for that female companionship. I mean, definitely, I'm like sort of very romantic sort of person, which in a way it prevented me from pursuing relationships with women, because I wanted something deeper and more profound than what I think was presented as presented to me at the time, and I didn't really know why. Like I never like there'd be like these attractive women, and I'd be like, why can't I interact with them? Like I want a relationship, but I can't seem to get myself to really, like, where's my courage? Like, why can't I initiate, or even when I know that it would probably be successful, because the message has been made clear that there's interest. So anyhow, and what's become clear to me through this integration process that I've been going through is the reason that I could never really find myself going forward in those circumstances was because I did not know who I was. I didn't know that I was a spiritual person. I didn't know how to, I wasn't like great at communicating at the time. But most importantly, I didn't know like my core self, that I'm like, at the time I thought of myself as like sort of a thinking type person who's like very logical and analytical, which that's part of me, but the deeper part of me is extremely emotional and mystical, and that was something that was asleep inside of me for many years, and I've had more, and I've had profound experiences over the years that have opened up one more door, then another door, and another door, and now now I'm here, and it's very now it's like now I know who, like, oh, okay, I'm a spiritual person. I get it now. Anyway, so with this whole Anima thing, along with the active imagination stuff, which has dug up all sorts of things and feelings about women, and a lot of the suffering and the pain of loss, and the isolation and the feeling of not being seen or understood, and then coming to the realization of how profoundly spirituality matters to me. That has all sort of revealed to me the problem that I had earlier on, which was that I couldn't be with a woman that isn't essentially a profoundly spiritual person like myself, and that was revealed to me in I meditate every day, about an hour every day in the morning. Sometimes I meditate in the evening too, but like sometimes you just don't have time for that. But always in the morning, and I had once you start opening yourself up to the unconscious, it's gonna start showing you things, even when you're, like when you're not particularly doing the active imagination stuff, but also in other, yeah, and like all throughout the day, basically, like your mind will start sifting through things and showing you things and revealing things to you. Anyhow, so during my meditation, I had one vision of what was my anima, and I'll show you some pictures. So the first vision, I'll try to conceal my true identity. So this one was the first vision that I had. This lighting is probably not the best for this. And then I had this later on, and it was basically a high priestess. Now these are not like saying, I was not like trying to. There was like subtle intention in the background, probably, of like, oh, this is on my mind. I want, I'm sort of looking to integrate the feminine aspect of myself. But these images, I didn't try to make them up. They just revealed themselves to me. So the one was, shit. Get these again. Alright, so this was the one on the left, was the first one. Fuck. And then the one on the right, that was the second one. And, these just sort of like popped into my head out of the blue. And when I saw the second one, which is, basically it was a woman wearing sort of like a nun's outfit, but not exactly, and she had a crucifix on, but she didn't have like the cap of a nun, so she was basically a high priestess. And then it became clear to me, oh, okay, you don't want like any woman, you want a high priestess. Like, oh, okay, yeah, of course that's what I want, because like that's what resonates with me, like that's what resonates with my anima. And like the other part of the anima is like, the anima is like the female aspect of the male. But if you don't have a lot of relationships with women, she is kind of the one that wants more intimate relationships with women, in terms of like emotionally intimate, not like like the carnal, whatever you want to call it, just superficial, normal sort of what nowadays is considered normal anyway, which I think is kind of a tragedy. But anyhow, so like if you don't have a well integrated anima, your relationships with women won't be. I don't think they'll be very good. Anyhow, and you won't. I don't think. So the main takeaway from this is, if you want to know like what kind of woman that you're looking for, allow your anima to reveal herself to you. So that way, like if you're looking for friends, for example, you want friends that are like you, or that share your values to some extent. And that's the same for the female part of you. It's the female in you wants to hang out with other females that are like her. So, like, don't just go around, think, oh, she's pretty, you know, like, she'll do. She's a woman. I'm sure, you know, I'll let my Anima projection do the rest of the work for me, because, like, you know, who cares what she's like? Because, like, you know, whatever. I can project the parts that I want onto her after the fact, and then, you know, then it's a woman, I'm a man. Now I've completed my, you know, like, you know, superficial, like, status thing of, like, okay, now I feel secure because I have a woman, and, you know, that's like a sign of success or whatever. Anyhow, so, you know, I think that's the wrong approach. I think we should have a good relationship with our unconscious. I've heard it said that essentially the way men relate to their unconscious is essentially how they relate to women, and, you know, if you are abusive to women, that means you're probably abusive in some way to your unconscious. And, you know, I mean, there's many forms of abuse. I think a lot of things that are considered sort of normal behavior nowadays is you're completely in violation of your own internal world, and, you know, you wonder why you're depressed and why things can't, you know, why things aren't going well for you. It's because you're not living as who you are. You're not a complete individual. You're not taking steps to integrate the various aspects of yourself. You're not being honest with yourself, and you're motivated by what the world told you should be motivated by. So, anyway, I know that I probably did not the best job of staying on point, and you know, it's probably not going to be. Anyhow, I'm not gonna comment on that. But anyhow, thank you for watching this. If you did, I'll see you again soon.